Hello students, this is Mrs. Theotokis. How are you? Today we'll be learning about complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles. For starters, complementary angles. They are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. In this case here, they form a right angle. However, they do not need to be next to one another. They could be nearby and still add up to 90 degrees and therefore have a complementary relationship. Which examples here show a complementary relationship? Take a moment. I hope you made the same choices. The relationship here adds to 180 degrees. This will actually be called supplementary, which we'll discover later. So it is not complementary. This middle diagram, although many students would think it is complementary, it is not because there are three angles involved, and by definition, there needs to be two angles involved. Once again, here with this bottom diagram, this is a supplementary relationship that adds to 180, not complementary, which adds to 90. Here are some examples to practice on your own. Basic subtraction. Continuing on. Supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180. In this case, they form a straight angle. Here's the 40-degree angle, and here's the 140-degree angle, forming a straight angle. Once again, they do not need to be adjacent, which means next to one another. Rather, they could be nearby. Again, 60 degrees and 120 degrees add to 180. Therefore, they have a supplementary relationship. Choose which you feel are supplementary. Hope you made the same decisions. First relationship here is complementary, so therefore not supplementary. And this last one here has more than two angles, therefore it does form together, all three, a 180-degree relationship. However, they're not considered supplementary. Take a moment to fill in the blanks. Find the supplement. Simple subtraction. Last thing you need to know for today are vertical angles. Vertical angles are opposite one another. As can be seen from the figure below, when two lines intersect, four angles are formed. Each opposite pair are called vertical angles and are always congruent, which means equal in measure. Vertical angles are also called opposite angles. Angle 1 is opposite angle 3, therefore they are vertical angles, and whatever the measurement is for 1, it will be the same for 3. So say, for example, this is 60 degrees, this will also be 60 degrees, not drawn to scale. Another pair of vertical angles is 2 and 4. You could actually find the missing pair, the measurement of each. How? If you look at half from here to here, that is forming a straight angle. So using what you just learned about supplementary, 180 minus 60, This here would be 120 degrees. And if this is 120 degrees, it automatically means that the vertical angle 4 is also 120 degrees because they are vertical angles and therefore congruent. Altogether, if you look from one end to the other, it forms a circle, so to speak, which is 360 degrees. Adjacent angles are two angles that are next to one another, such as the red and blue color. They share a common vertex and a common ray. Find the measure of each angle. This is algebra because everything leads to algebra. What right do we have here? What equation can we form? Well, an equation comes from a right that we have. If they're saying that together these angles add up to 90 because of the right angle symbol, then you have the right to add them together and set them equal to 90. So adding them together, 2x and x, that's 3x, a positive 6 and a negative 3, that's a positive 3. Solve for x, and you get x is equal to 29. Because the question asks to find the measure of each angle, you need to go right back in as usual, which we've done a lot of in the past, plug in x to find the missing values. If you plug in x up here, you get 29 minus 3, that's 26 degrees for this piece. And over here, 2 times 29 plus 6 is 64 degrees. And as a check, 64 plus 26 does indeed give you 90 degrees. For the next diagram, this angle plus this angle add up to 180. Therefore, you have the right to set up an equation and set it equal to 180. Add them together. Combine like terms, solve for x, and you should get x is equal to 18. Go right in and plug in to find the missing angles because it asks you to do that. 5 times 18 plus 8 gives you 98 degrees, and 4 times 18 plus 10 gives you 82 degrees. Together, you could check by adding and ensuring it equals 180 as it does. The next example here is showing vertical angles. You have the right to set them equal to each other, not to any specific number. You've solved problems like this where variables are on both sides. Solve carefully, bring over what you wish, etc. And get it down to where you solve for x at the very end, or w in this case, sorry. And you have w is equal to 12. Plug in if needed, and it is in this case. So plug in for w here and also above, and you should get that each of these expressions ultimately are worth 40 degrees. And they should be because they are congruent to one another since they're vertical angles. That's a lot of information for now. We will explore further tomorrow. Be sure to print out the handout I gave you and choose 7 of your choice. You may try any level you wish and any questions you feel comfortable with, and we will share tomorrow and explore further. Thank you and have a great, great night.